Well, this week, a massive dust storm hit Mongolia, China, South Korea, and Japan. Today, let's talk about it. So let's review what happened first. On Monday, China was hit by the largest and strongest sandstorm in a decade, with 12 provinces in the country's north blanketed in yellow sand and dust. It began in the Gobi Desert in the south of Mongolia. From there, the dust moved thousands of kilometers east, hitting northern China, the Korean Peninsula, and even parts of Japan. Then, in the middle of the week, the sandstorm turned around and hit China again. Air quality plunged in China, but in Mongolia, where the sandstorm came from, at least 10 people were killed. In China, sandstorms have become less common in recent years, and many people attribute that to decades of efforts to combat desertification. The 3 North Shelter Belt projects began in the 1970s, a national ecological efforts that involved the planting of millions of trees along the edge of encroaching deserts in northern China. That has helped the world to be a greener place today than it was 20 years ago. According to NASA, global leaf area has increased by 5% in the last 2 decades, an area equivalent to all of the Amazon rainforest. At least 25% of that gain was in China. As the wooded area expands, the average number of days in spring with dust storms has fallen from 12 in the 1960s to 3 days now. Before this week, the last sandstorm in Beijing was recorded 4 years ago. So why did it happen again this year? There are several factors in creating such a monster dust storm. You need a dust-rich place, strong wind to drive it forward, and an unstable atmosphere that can lift particles higher up into the sky. And all 3 ingredients were fully prepared this time. The huge Gobi Desert is located in the continental interior, far from the ocean, offering lots of sand. And this year, there was an unusual warm spring. Most of the area saw a temperature of 20 to 25 degrees Celsius in the middle of February, intensifying the dryness of this region. Moisture tends to weigh dirt down and keep it in place, while drought creates more dust storms. Also, when the desert is hotter than other places, an imbalance of temperature creates a strong airflow or wind. The storm that ripped through this year had wind speeds strong enough to lift tons of fine dust up to 1,000 meters and more above the ground, making trees unable to stop its progress. The storm is not hitting the forest, but flying over the forest. Once dust has reached that height, atmospheric circulation can deliver it thousands of kilometers away and help it across oceans and continents. China's efforts to build a Great Green Wall continues, and international cooperation is needed to help Mongolia, where over 70% of its land is degraded from overgrazing, deforestation, and climate change. Sandstorms are bad for our health, but they also have a positive role to play in Earth's biology. Every year, over 2,800 tons of dust from the Sahara cross the Atlantic, and the minerals inside fertilize plants in the Amazon forest and ocean life. Don't forget, it is a natural phenomenon. It cannot be artificially eliminated.